Okay, we are live in Duke's lair, and we're in MX Bikes. It's a motocross simulator, and I'm gonna go to. I just got this game. I'm about 2 to 4 hours in. Used to race motocross years ago, but I'm just going to. I've just downloaded, configured. I got it kind of working okay. The Logitech G27 wheel. It's actually fairly easy to ride it. Now, to do some of the higher end pro techniques for I guess I forget what they're called, but where you go off the jump and you tilt her sideways, you can do it with this, but you still got to be careful of ruts because you got to be able to bring it back fast enough to land it. And I'm trying to get the hang of it, so it's good to race on like flowy tracks like Walnut, or possibly I'm going to go to Unadilla, it's in New Berlin, New York. And as you can see, my bike is a two-stroke 250 gas model. And there's Walnut, which is a good track, good flowy track too. But we're going to go to Unadilla. I got sand track or regular. I'm going to go to the regular. Lots of ruts, lots of uphills, high traction. You got to be real careful of the bike actually getting away. So, and I got good throttle control with the pedals, and I got it set up just for the rear brake. Just that way, I found out it washes out too easy on the if you got the front brake going. So whereas the rear, you can just jam it on and kind of slide into the corners. So it's loading up right now. And my computer's it's like, you can get them for like $500. It's only like an i5 1060 3 gig video card. You know, it's kind of slow actually, but it plays this game fairly well in 1080p mode and 60 frames per second. I'll put the software and the TV and the computer, the desktop, all at the same resolution of 1080p. That's 1080 vertical pixels. So here we go, and we're just going to launch. And I can change my view. It's real hard to race like in that view there, but for visual wise, it's kind of neat. I just have a hard time. You can't see in front of the rider, so it's tough to see some of the ruts. So I'll switch to there's that view, static on board, which you're kind of low. I'd rather have the head movement, it seems a little more real. So this is a dynamic right here. Now we're on. Now I'm going to try to just get the flow first, feel these ruts, feel the track out, maybe do a lap, and then go for a heater. Oh, there's a little turn. Oh wow, big crash. That's the thing, sometimes when you got the auto move forward, you don't see the bike, so you gotta watch the shadow to see if it's come back straightened up. Sometimes it's just better just to do a slight little turn off, and then back, brakes on, heavy. Oh wow, just popped off the top of the berm. It takes a good lap before you start getting in any kind of a flow for a track. This is a heavily rutted track. It picks up traction, so it's easy to wheel it out. And you got to pick a rut or a berm, stick with it, and then accelerate out. And then make sure you clear enough for the doubles. Not many doubles. More, picking your berm and your line, whether inside or out, because you got some up here. You're going to pick the outside, go on the outside berm. If I got on the inside, I find it throws you up in the air and then you land in the corner. You go too fast. Here I just went off the track a little bit. I know I got to go right here because the track turns right. Oh, look, they're out. Wow. Just got a little too much traction. Should have reduced the throttle. So I reset it, hold the button, but I got it all set up on my wheel. I can change my goggles. why it's not changing. Oh, I changed it there. I did it to the, what do you call it? That's right. I switched it from a button to the paddle, so it's a little easier to change your, it's your little plastic over your mask. They call them tear-offs. You just tear them away. You put on like 10 of them on for a race. When you get mud buildup, you can just get a new lens. Well, I'm going to go a little faster on that. I know this right here, I was taking the outside here. The left side would send you. So I didn't want to brake over that. And I brake around off these drop-offs. It keeps me lower to the ground. Whoa! Wow, I can't believe I didn't crash there. Shot over the top of the berm. I used to put on some other traction mode. I could do that maybe sometime, but right now I just got to learn more of the lines on the track and the amount of throttle, which gear I'm in. It's tough to watch that on the screen. But I'm getting the hang of this. And Walnut, I was putting down some, 130s, low 130s for my lap times. This, I'm not even sure what a good lap is. So I want to get a little high. I should have, we call it scrubbing. I should have done a little scrub, put a little rear brake on like here, then turn. Whoa! That I did not get back. Turn just, usually if I just turn a little bit, it's a lot better. It'll actually, I'll be able to see the bike the whole time. The hardest part of this track is the ruts. It's just like almost like little pothole ruts. And I can just feel the force feedback of the wheel. Just struggling to hang on. But I am a finely tuned athlete, so I have no problem handling this wheel. Wow. And I got force feedback not up too high, and it's a handful. It's going to flow. Turn. Outside line. The left line will throw you up in the air, and you'll fly in. If you don't scrub, you'll fly straight into the berm. So if I stay on the outside line, so I got to hit the right side after the jump. I could have scrubbed a little bit there, but I didn't. I still got to learn scrubbing a little bit better. There's a little scrub. Oh, a little scrub. There we go. Bring her back. Get her smooth. Oh, tear away off. Wow. Flying. Whoa. Stay on the right because that left is do the same thing as the other one. Throw you in the air going into that corner because I'm going such high velocity. But if you do hit the brakes, you can scrub it. But I haven't learned all these scrub points. Just more trying to handle the ruts and the berm lines. Stay which one I can stay in. Oh, that flew out of the outside, back into the inside, over the berm. Somehow survived. Do not know how that happened. Okay, scrub, little scrub. Whoa, straighten out. Whoa, no. Tragedy. Okay, reset. Wow. The graphics look really good when you synchronize everything to 1080p and 60 frames. And the frame rates are keeping up, and goggles off. So now I can start figuring out these lines. There are multiple lines you can take, but it's just knowing that you don't want to jump from one berm or one line to another because there are deep ruts, and you'll get thrown off that bike so quick you won't even know what hit you. Okay, I'm going to trail brake a little, which is an advanced racing technique. Scrub a little bit. Whoa, straighten out. Oh, did not get her straight. As I shouldn't be scrubbing as much, or I should brake a little bit more when I try to do a scrub. So brake, Oh, I wanted to get over that end. But anyways, I'm going to take the inside. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that, but I went off the course a little bit, taking the inside. So intense. Like I said, I don't even got it turned up. Oh, almost too far. Brake heavy, brake heavy. Oh. Whoa, jump, jump. Keep her going. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go. Control, control, get back control. This is a tough track. These bumps and berms are unbelievable. And this bike has got so much power for 250 two-stroke. Very responsive. You don't even, it's got some good torque in it too, so you don't have to ride the clutch or anything to keep your RPMs up. It's always in the power mode. It's fairly smooth. Suspension is pretty good too in the bike. Nothing that should be done, but I wanted to just kind of just keep her straight and smooth. You don't have to show off in each one. Smoother is faster. And like I say, I did race motocross in real life all over North America, including, I've been here. I didn't race this. This is the U.S. Grand Prix held here in Berlin, upstate New York. We're up there. I gotta concentrate. It's tough to talk and ride at the same time. Whoa. I may have to adjust the camera settings. I may have to change something. Or maybe I should switch to static then. Oh well. Sounds like it's blown up. If I don't scrub too much, like sideways, I should be able to keep the bike in view so I know when I... Because if you go too far, you lose view of it in certain field of vision modes. So to keep it in view, just keep my scrubbing down to a minimum and try to go for the full and hitting the doubles. There's a few doubles on this track, like just back there I hit one. Oh, this is, I should have scrubbed on that. That's a hard hit. Oh, brake heavy, brake heavy. Stay in the line, stay in the rut. Follow on, ease it on. Scrub. There we go. Heavy brake, hit the berm. Wow. Okay, right-hander. Oh, really, you gotta really watch that throttle. Oh, scrub. Wow, brake heavy. Oh no, I just flipped it. Oh, wow. I just leaned her over too much. But this is very intense game. Like, the physics, unbelievable. Especially if you get wheel into a force feedback wheel and get configured the settings the way I do, so it's just so realistic. On the outside line, side berm. But the thing is, if you misjudge it, you go over the top. I'm not going to get the right side of this jump. Scrub it a little bit. There we go. Scrub this a little bit. Scrub this a little bit. Oh, hang on. Big brake. Big brake. Not too heavy. I think I got her set to a higher gain for the rear brake, so it will come on really strong. But that's the only brakes I have. I don't have any front brakes at all engaged, just the rear brake. Oh, wow. These ruts are, if you get going too fast, like you say, you hit a little hole like that, and boom. Okay, let's, you gotta, oh, wow. And the ground is so loamy that there's like perfect traction, so you gotta really watch out that you don't really and loop it out. It's real easy to loop. And it's really easy to tumble you pick the wrong line where there's major depression. So it's better not to scrub as much, just slight ones, and get into a flow for those doubles. There are some doubles and triples, and keep it smooth as fast. Pick the smoothest line, get the throttle back down, and out without, there's a hole there. So you're going to do a lot of steering to keep her away from, look ahead, scan. There we go. Whoa, that's a brake. Oh yeah, a little brake there. This is a long brake heavy. Okay. That's why I got crashed here before. There's some little holes in that line. So remember next time, I know the inside one here's got them. I'll stay on the outside or the center one. That crash there on the inside last lap. This is a top. Lots of ruts. Lots of divots, lots of holes. You gotta really remember your lines. There's like 4 lines here. Whoa. Brake heavy. See, if I had front brakes attached, a lot of times you'll wash those ones out, especially when you're braking into the corner. So that's why I can panic brake, and all it's going to do is lock up my rear tire, which is, in most situations, won't get you in too much trouble. But it also allows you to do a little trail braking, and trail braking will induce a scrub. Lower your speed, but if you do it too much, you're going to miss the double. So you got to do it just enough to change the smooth on. Brake. Well, I could have got a little faster, but you know what? If you go too far, you easily overshoot a corner because you or off the track like I just did there. Back on. Yeah, I can just try to do a heater lap maybe. Whoa. Hang her in. There we go. Whoa. Lock her up. Okay, smooth. Oh, whoa. See, I just too much power down, hooked up too much, pulled me right out. Like I should really be experimenting with some other bikes because I think there's just too much power and it just hooks up too much. So you gotta have real soft throttle control, or else you'll find yourself shooting across the. I may have the gain set up too much on the throttle, but if you learn to just be soft with it, it's not really a problem. It's only when you try to get on it too heavy or too quickly. So you just gotta slow it down a little bit and ease it on. But it's good to have it like that so you can get that last minute surge like I just did there to hit that double or triple. Okay, throttle up. Oh, straighten out. Straighten. Yeah. Okay, straighten out. Oh no, I think I should have hit more throttle because I was starting to go over the end and that's why I couldn't see the bike. So I have to remember that. If you're in the air, you can throttle and you can bring the front end up. And so that could be the problem with those ones where I lose sight of the bike because I'm doing an endo in the air. And then when you land, you're landing on the front wheel, which you're going to crash. So when I go off these jumps to eliminate that, I'm going to give it a bit more throttle. And then brake to bring her back down. The rear brake will lock up the tire. And but you gotta be careful because if you lock that too much when you hit the ground, it can fling your rear tire sideways. Especially if you get too much going off those, you're trying to scrub a jump like that. So I trail brake in here, that keeps the traction down. Put the tire off. Throttle on. I'm going to go to the right here, a little scrub. scrub, brake scrub. Whoa, another brake scrub. Going to go to the top line and a little smoother than the bottom one. The bottom one's got some nasty. Oh, barely hold on. Scrub. Oh. Yeah, so I got to remember in the air to induce throttle or brake to tilt the bike if I'm too tilted or not tilted enough. And if you put more throttle on, you'll see the bike more. It's only when you go over, like when you stop seeing the bike, that usually means that you're in an endo format. So you want to throttle on to bring it back. Okay, I just jumped. Before I jumped that and crashed. Double. There we go. Brake heavy. Oh wow. I had heavy brake there. Split in that corner. Whoa. Should have got on the throttle more. I was starting to go over the end. Heavy brake. Throttle on. Now the throttle and brake are on separate axes. So once you learn how to master the control of it, personally I found myself looping them out or endoing and crashing. Now I know how to induce a directional change in the air. Brake or throttle control, I can do that in the air. And then you also know when you can bring the throttle on, how heavy, and it's just doing laps. You're going to memorize that. It's going to come natural. You don't even have to think about it. I just got shot up to the top line. Well, let's do one more lap. And I think I'm up to about 10-15 minutes. Anyways, this is MX Bikes. It's a motocross simulator. As real as you get. I've only been playing, basically about a week on and off, maybe 4 hours. I'm just getting the hang of how to control the bike in the air, in the corners, and all with steering wheel. Versus, I don't know anyone that uses steering wheel competitively. The only shady guy, some shady lady, he's done a video on it, but I don't know if he got it configured as precise as I have. But I got 30 years of racing simulator experience. I used to race NASCAR simulator leagues with Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick. As a matter of fact, that league folded because Dale Jr. took the kid that ran it, he was like 16 or 17 years old, and gave him a Busch North NASCAR rider, for on Dale's team. And then he went and lived at Dale's ranch. And eventually he never made it to the full ranks. His name was TJ Majors, I believe. But he became friends with Dale and became Dale's spotter. So the kid that ran my league, the league folded because Dale basically stole him. Well, he gave him a full factory ride. The kid went from top simulator racer to factory ride, and Dale's, I think he's retired now, but he was Dale's spotter, I believe, or crew chief or something on his team. And they were friends, they'd hang out, and Dale was like that with all of us in our league. He'd pay for all the servers, and we would just set the servers to have whatever track is coming up the next week. And I remember Dale practiced with us for like 3 days at Watkins Glen. He went there and he almost won it, which was unheard of because Dale's a super speedway guy. And because of the practice, he almost won. I think he got 6th or 7th, but he was in like 2nd place at one point. And they were interviewing him there, asking him how he managed that, because he's a super speedway guy. And Dale gave a shout out to our league, and he explained on how him and how he would practice on our servers, and it would give a realistic race feel. And what you learn all your braking points. So, and then you also learn the passing points and how to outbrake someone else in the corner, so that's why you need traffic. So we would be the traffic for Dale and Harvick, and they would learn from us, and you give shout-outs to our lead. Do one fast lap here before I shut her down. Okay. You got it when you're really concentrating on throttle control, like and steering and leaning. It's very difficult to talk. That's why a lot of the top pros that have channels, they will talk, but then once they go for a heater lap or in a race, they're not going to talk. They're concentrating. It's almost like being a robot. And then you got to get in a flow and a rhythm, and the handling of the bike has to respond. I should have gotten on the throttle quicker when I was in the air. So hold the throttle on when I go off jumps. So keep the bike forward rather than naturally go endo. There, I was throttling not too much. I almost went over the bars. Throttle. Just keep a little throttle on. Throttle on. Brake, but also depends on the throttle when you go off the end of the jump. If you got a full pin, you'll go more vertical. If you let off the throttle and brake too much, you'll decelerate and go with an endo. And exactly, I used to race in Baja, Michigan, Holly Gully, Big Bend, Gopher Dunes, all kinds of tracks around. And then we would travel to the watch races, Gatorback Nationals in Florida, Gainesville, Florida, Daytona, Supercross. I'd even race some smaller Supercrosses in like fairs and stuff, like Western Fair. I did it a couple times since the 84 KX125 there. And it was a great bike, had low torque, like a tractor motor for 125, but it had terrible frame. I broke the frame like 3 or 4 times. They had one course we used to go once a year. They'd have a race there in Paris, Ontario, and what they called it, but it had a name for it. But it would just be once a year, and sometimes they had little nationals there. But it was like a Unadilla, almost like a freestyle course, uphill, 3 drop-offs, and I went off a drop-off the first time. I didn't realize how far the drop-off was. Well, I went like second gear wide open, so I went off the landing zone. So I landed flat from like 40 feet in the air, and then I went to go take off. I couldn't believe I survived it. I went to go take off and accelerate, and my clutch was engaged. The bike wouldn't take off, and what had happened was the frame broke. The whole bike lowered itself down by, I think it was 4 inches, and that was enough to stretch and pull on the clutch cable and engage the clutch. So basically the bike I couldn't ride. My race was done, my weekend was done. I had to get the frame all welded up and sell the bike. But it still would have been even welded. It would have been a good trail bike for someone, but you couldn't race competitively. You'd have to get another frame. So rather than get another frame, I just get another bike from some factory guys, some sponsor guys that I knew. They get 3 bikes a year, or they're really wealthy, and they would usually give us their practice bike or one of their race bikes that could be 2 years old, and we get them for $900 every time. And the condition was you get them every year or two. I'd get a $900 bike, and basically it's like almost like an ex-factory bike. It's all hopped up and everything. And the condition was, even though they'd be a lot more valuable than $900, that's how they would practice their their racing. Because we'd practice on the practice track, and we would be just like there was with Dale Jr. We'd be traffic focused, so they can experience kind of race scenarios. And it's also interesting because it's really boring if you just go onto the track by yourself, and by yourself you could get hurt. So having multiple people there, you're even if you got hurt, you're going to get some sort of first aid. And there was all kinds of supercross pros that would go practice with us in London behind Shaw's Dairy Dog. Once in a while, the OPP would show up and try to chase us, but we would just hit the ditch and just run the OPP. They wouldn't even put their lights on to follow us. They just make sure we went home and we'd be safe. You know, we knew how to ride the bikes. Even if it was dusk out, we knew where all the poles were, or wires, or when you go on the shoulder of a road or in a ditch. Wow. Wow. So I get the hang of that and how to holding the brake on is actually helping me, because otherwise I would end up throttling up too much and moving out. But having a little brake on, just to slow down that traction, or slow down, the hooking up too much. You got to be careful, because if you give too much throttle when we have the brake engaged, so you're getting more traction on the wheel, because it's called trail braking. And that also the scrubbing effect is from the trail braking. But like I said, I kind of lost control a little bit. Like I was scrubbing a little too much, and it either just sends the rear sideways a little bit. So you got to be very careful. Be very light. Just using your light, and then at the same time you got to be throttling up to counter, especially when you're in the air, so you don't do an end of. Oh, almost got too much throttle on. Overshot that berm. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more corners. I got to be up to 10 gigs now. But anyways, I've only been riding this for the better part of a week. I did have the demo for a few weeks, but the demo is not quite as good. You don't get all the tracks. It does get boring, and when you get the demo, you're just trying to configure your most people use Xbox controllers. I'm using a wheel, which is probably unheard of, especially if I get to any competitive level. I really have to concentrate. I'm not sure if I'm willing to put in the time, because you still have to learn every inch of each track and when to, which lines are smoothest and fastest, and how much throttle off the jumps, and lines, and what happens because sometimes you got to take a different line if you're racing, so you might have to try all the lines if you're forced into an outside line that you know how it's going to handle. And you just always avoid the worst case lines that you're going to know there. I don't even know what my laps have been. I think I've had a couple clean ones. But when you're talking, you tend to not put your lines, and you get to really focus on what you're seeing ahead and where you are in the track, and what you're going to do before you hit that jump. Are you going to scrub, or you got to get a further distance, and then, oh wow, I almost slid out there, wow. That was a skid, because I was scrubbing, and I kept a little bit too much brake on, so when the rear tire hit the ground, just shot it out sideways. I should have been off on the brake a little bit, or more on the throttle. The throttle will counter it and give you traction, but the scrubbing of the brake will keep you. Will keep the traction down the ground, but it will also prevent you from looping out. But it can sometimes slow you down. So if you too much brake. Real easy to flip her sideways off the face, or when you're landing. Oh, looped her out. Wow. Anyways, there you go. I just didn't have enough brake. If I had more brake on, it wouldn't have hooked up as much, I think. But it's still more throttle control, and that's the game. That's what 4 to 6 hours in MX bikes looks like. Duke, over and out.